Welcome to Factoring 101, Section 8.4, Beginning Algebra, Special Factoring. In this section, we take a look at two different special factoring formulas, one for something called the difference of two squares, and another one called, another one for a special product called the perfect square trinomial. First, the difference of two squares. Let's take a look, as we have been doing with the other tutorials, at how we get to the difference of two squares. And to do that, I'm going to actually use, let's see, let me get our pen set here. I'm going to use the formula itself to show you this. Alright, let's say that we've got two binomials, a plus b times a minus b. Now you may remember this from when we did our special products for the last test. This is the sum and the difference of the same two terms. When you FOIL this out, you will get a squared for the first term. Let me put it down here. For the outer term, you get negative ab. Inner term gives you positive ab. And then the last term gives you a negative b squared. Now you're always going to get, when you multiply the sum of the difference of the same two terms, you're always going to get the same setup. So what winds up happening is the two terms that are in the middle cancel out. They add out to 0. And what you're left with is just a squared minus b squared, or the difference of two squares. Now notice that the squares are the same. They're just the first and last terms of your two binomials squared. So it's the square of the first minus the square of the second. Okay, now that's the product. So let's turn it around and do a factoring problem with that. Let's say that I want to factor x squared minus 16. Okay, well first we need to identify what the square roots, well technically, first you got to make sure that it is in fact the difference of two squares. X squared is a perfect square, so is 16. I'll give you some examples in a second of some that aren't. The square root of x squared is x. Square root of 16 is 4. So when we factor it, we just follow the formula. We get x plus 4 times x minus 4. And you can actually do those in any order you want to. You can put the minus first or the plus first, either one. Alright, let's try one that's got a more significant number issue here. Let's say that we've got 9x squared minus 49y squared. Okay, well we've got two variables. Oops, I don't know what I did to make it jump. Okay, the 9x squared's square root is 3x, and the 49y squared is 7y. That's its square root. So the answer then is just 3x plus 7y, and then skip over a little bit, 3x minus 7y. Alright, let's take a look at some of the problems. If I can get it pinched and out of the way here. Some of the problems that are not difference of two squares, that you can't do anything with. For example, if I'd had x cubed minus 6. The problem with that is that neither one of those two are perfect squares. X cubed is not a perfect square, neither is 6. Now, if we were working with numbers that weren't integers, I could show you how to factor that. But it will not factor over the integers, which is all we're concerned with. So as far as we're concerned, this one's just simply non-factorable. I'm doing a poor job of writing that on there, I'm sorry. Alright, let's look at another one. What about y squared plus 64a squared? Well, we certainly have plenty of squares there. Y squared is a perfect square, so is 64, and a squared. But this is the sum of two squares. If we were using imaginary numbers, I could show you how to factor that. But we don't in beginning algebra. So this one is also for us non-factorable over the integers. Okay, so you see two examples there of stuff that just won't work. Let's try another one that will. See if I can get another one squeezed in here right quick that does work for us. Let's see, let's do 4 a squared minus b squared. Okay, is this one the difference of two squares? Yes, it is. We have a 4a squared, which factors to 2a. That's its square root. B squared, its square root is just b. So we get 2a plus b times 2a minus b. And again, if you put the 2a minus b first, it will not make any difference. That will be fine.